Hope everybody's doing great here on a Wednesday, September 21st. Hard to believe we are on the end of September. Just a couple of more days left, about a week or two left, and then we are moving in to October. So looking forward to seeing you in action today and reviewing a couple things on morning announcements as you are locked in and focused this morning. Hey, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, which we are excited about as we are celebrating. And just as a reminder, why do we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month? Well, in the United States, we celebrate the histories, the cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors, we talked about this the other day, came from Spain, Mexico, Caribbean, Central, and South America. And then I showed you a map, and behind me, right, this is South America right here. And a lot of different Hispanic cultures developed from South America. You see Mexico up there in the green, right? Even one right here in the continent of Africa as well. So a lot of different areas and cultures that we'll be celebrating and highlighting over the next couple of weeks. But before we do that, just a couple of reminders. Hey, every scholar's locked in right now. Let's make sure that our first things first, that our cell phones, right, we're putting those away. We've done a really good job of that. Right, that is not, no cell phones are allowed during recess, right? Not during the day. Those are put up and put away, and you can use those in emergency situations. But it is okay to have a cell phone, but it needs to be in your book bag at all times, because scholars, your job is to stay locked in with the awesome teacher in front of you all day to make sure you're getting everything you need from your teachers. The second thing is, let's continue to have our hallways and dismissals at voice level 0. Hey, yesterday was probably one of the best days that it's been, and we are pretty consistent with that. But I want us to continue to work on making sure that all of us are and when we're walking through the hallways, we're on voice level 0. And we don't say that to be mean or you can't talk or anything like that. It's just that other classrooms are moving and doing things. And so when you're heading to the restroom or wherever you may be going with your class, it is always good to make sure that you are on voice level 0, standing on your word, and you're focused on getting what you need. Now, check this out. When you go to the restroom as a class, that is your instructional time. So you want to make sure you are going as quickly as possible. And so that's why being at voice level 0 helps you and your teacher get you moving quickly, get back on a word, facing up front towards my teacher. My hands are not on the wall. I'm just facing my teacher, ready to get back to class and get after it, right? Every minute matters, and every minute is important. So we want to make sure it is utilized and important here in the Eagle's Nest. And last but not least, I'm going to challenge every scholar to show kindness daily. Now, being kind is not just something we all wake up and do, right? It is something that you have to actively pursue every single day in the Eagle's Nest, adults and scholars, right? We have to actively pursue kindness. So we want to make sure that the things that we're saying and the things that we're doing are showing kindness to others. And that even goes for the bus, right? We want to make sure that we're being kind to others on the bus. Hey, listen, one of the best sayings I've ever heard, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it, right? Just keep it moving. And then if you could be kind, then of course say that. But making sure that we're being the best teammates that we can be each day to each other in the Eagle's Nest. That's what makes us elite scholars here in the Eagle's Nest. So I'm looking for scholars that are showing kindness to each other and also that are being elite scholars. And that rolls right into our Fairview 5, right? We're actively listening to the speaker. So actively means that my head's not down, my eyes aren't closed. Actively means my eyes, my ears, my nose, my mouth, my body, everything is locked in, right? Because if the speaker is right in front of me and I'm turned this way, my body is not actively listening. So I got to make sure that I'm turning towards my awesome teacher and that I'm listening intently on what is happening inside the classroom. Because I'm going to tell you, the person standing in front of you today and working with you in all of your classrooms is going to help you get to the next level. Number 2, keeping our hands and feet to ourselves. This is a great life skill to learn now, right? We want to use our hands and our feet for positive things and not for negative things. So make sure that we're keeping those to ourselves, practicing self-control each day. Number 3, we're cleaning up our area, right? We want to make sure that we're continuing to stay organized. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the coming weeks on morning announcements. is when I walk into classrooms, I see certain scholars already organized. They know where everything is on their desk and in their book bag, which is a fantastic thing. You want to make sure that you are always cleaning up your area, staying organized. And number 4 and 5, right? Be kind to others with your words and actions. That's where that kindness comes from, making sure that we're being kind every single day and then doing your best each and every day. All right, I'm excited about some vocabulary this morning. Right, we talked about on Monday the word increase, I-N-C-R-E-A-S-E, increase. And then we talked about what it meant, right? And it means to make greater in size or amount. So the picture that I showed you were blocks. And if we just look at that bottom row right here on the very bottom, the blue, green, yellow, and orange, each time you add a block, it increases in size. The amount gets more. Like the very last column, of course, has more blocks than the very first one, but also it is increasing in size. It's getting taller over time. So take a look at our 2 sentences this morning that we can use in different ways. So one of them is like a real world example. One of them is a school example. So check this out. It says, Devontae saw an increase in his pay after working at FedEx for a year. So if I'm working a job one day and I stay for a little bit longer of a time, sometimes I get an increase in pay. So increase means my pay, or how much I'm compensated, grows in size or amount. Now let's look at it inside of a school sense. It said Legacy got her math scores back and her happiness increased because she did so well. Now I know Legacy's sitting in Miss Self's class right now, and I'm sure she would be very excited and her happiness would increase if she got her math scores or spelling scores back and they were really good. So notice how it can mean you increase in an amount, or it can increase in a feeling that you have, or increase in an emotion that you have. So looking forward to seeing our next word next week, right, to see what that's going to be. So far we've had the word develop, and we've also had the word increase. So excited to see what our word is going to be. Make sure you're remembering these words. We'll continue to review them as time goes on, but we're going to have a fun little thing that we're going to do with these words towards the end of the year. So making sure that you're continuing to remember these words. All right, so today for our Hispanic Heritage Month, let me get back out of the way again. Today, we want to highlight somebody by the name of Frida Kahlo. So there's a picture of Frida Kahlo in her younger years, but Frida Kahlo was an artist, a famous Mexican-German artist. So if you take a look at some of the highlights for her, and once again, there's one of the videos that I sent your teachers is very interesting about the biography of Frida Kahlo, because when we talk about overcoming obstacles, which a lot of our scholars, you've overcome obstacles before and have resilience and grit and all of these great things. Well, Frida Kahlo does as well. So she was born to a Mexican mother and a German father, so she had a couple different heritages and cultures that she was born into. But one of the things was when she was younger, she became sick with a disease called polio. And then on top of that, she was in a terrible bus accident that actually left her spine and her pelvis fractured, which means that she was standing, walking, sitting, all of those things were painful for her, right? Because our spine is a very important thing, right? That runs from our neck all the way down to our tailbone. It's a very important piece of our anatomy and our body. But she had to deal with all of these things at a young age, right? So a disease at a young age, and then also was in a terrible accident. But that didn't stop her or prohibit her from doing what she loved to do. She loved art from a very young age. I have a feeling her and Mr. Rogers would have gotten along really well. She would have been a star scholar in his specials classroom. But one of the things was she had paintings that were very colorful, and they outlined the Mexican culture very well with the colors and with the types of things that she did. And then, so one of the things was 55 of her 143 paintings she made were self-portraits, but her self-portraits were different. So like this is a picture of her. She would have painted this, but she would have added something else, which we call in the, or what they call in the art world, realism or surrealism. So I challenge you to ask Mr. Rogers a little bit more about Frida Kahlo. I guarantee you he knows a little bit more about her and can share a little bit of her artwork when you're in his class this week and next week in the Eagle's Nest. All right, hey, it's 7:39. It's time to get after it today. Just as a reminder to all of our scholars, we're following the Fairview 5 and we're doing everything we can to be elite. It's Wednesday in the Eagle's Nest. It's the midway point of the week. So if Monday and Tuesday weren't your day, I've got good news. You still got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to make it your week and to finish strong. And the way you do that is by following the Fairview 5, being kind to others, and being an elite scholar, following along with your awesome teacher that you have in front of you this morning to do great things in the Eagle's Nest. Looking forward to seeing you in action. I hope that you have a wonderful Wednesday in the Eagle's Nest.